Hey there, it's Jen and I'm back with another layout for Hip Kit Club. Today my challenge is to use the main kit only, and so I have the embellishments from the main kit sitting here on my desk, the exclusive die cuts and some of these dimensional stickers, as well as a bunch of this gorgeous Pink Fresh Studio Just a Little Lovely collection. And I'm going to, we're supposed to scrapbook a celebration, and my daughter brought me these flowers the other day, which I thought was so sweet, and I'm going to call that a celebration of myself because she brought me the flowers. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm also supposed to include stitching on the background for texture, so I will probably do that off camera on my sewing machine, and then I will show it to you before I start the layout. So let's go ahead and get started. So I started this video not really knowing what papers I wanted to use, so I decided to just flip through all of them and kind of see what might work. And I actually was surprised by the papers that I chose, but I am going with that Echo Park paper that has the florals on it. I'm going to cut out those kind of dark pink florals, and I'm going to combine it with the black and white florals. I did some stitching. I'm just giving you a little close-up view of that on my background. It takes a little while, but all you do is sew back and forth, so it's really, really simple. And I just did that on my sewing machine. So back to what I was saying before, I picked this paper, and I'm going to fussy cut those bright pink florals because they matched the bright pinkish red of the flowers that my daughter picked for me. So I thought that was perfect. I actually didn't know if I was going to use this side of the paper at all because I liked the pink stripes on the back, and this just isn't exactly my style, but I actually love the way that they look on this layout. You can see that I also fussy cut out of that black and white floral paper from Pink Fresh Studio, and I absolutely love those as well. And I liked the combination of them, actually. I really liked the whimsical look of the pink flowers, and I also cut the white daisies from that paper with the more sophisticated style of the black and white. So I'm looking through the die cuts now to see if there's anything that might work here. I'm pulling out some of the hearts because I think that will work well, and I also really like that dimensional sticker that has the yellow around it that I will end up using for sure. And then I looked through these puffy stickers, and at first glance, based on the colors of my layout, you might not think that one of these would match, but actually this one that says lovely is a nice light pink, and it ends up working pretty well, and it matches the light pink flower in the bouquet. And then I combined it with the white letter stickers, and so the main kit this month has some great options for titling because you get those large scripty words as well as those gorgeous white puffy stickers. So my title's going to be Lovely Heart because I thought it was so sweet that my daughter picked these little flowers for me. She's 13. She's not, I don't know, she still loves me. I'm here for it. So I'm popping up one of the photos, and I'm just going to overlap them, and you can see on the right hand photo there's a lot of white space. I'm just going to overlap them so that the one photo just goes into a little bit of that white space. And then you'll notice I'm covering up a lot of that stitching that I did a bunch of work on, but it pops out the sides of the photos, and it just, I don't know, I'm happy with the way that the stitching ended up looking. I love that. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I stitched in kind of like an aqua minty green color because I thought that would match the leaves, or I don't know, I feel like it's the other neutral to me. Teal is or aqua. So now I'm going to play around a lot with the flowers, trying to decide how they'll look best and how I can get these in here. So I really like the way that floral rests up against the photo on the right. It's a great idea when you're fussy cutting florals. If you're going to tuck them in anyway, you can cut off a piece from the side of the paper because you're not going to see part of the flower anyway. So I'm kind of making the stitching, I'm having my title, the lovely word, rest right up on it, and then I'm putting the word heart on the stitching, and that helps it to stand out. It's still very subtle, but the white stands out more on the
green stitching than it does on just the white cardstock. So that ended up working nicely. And I'm still going to, most of this layout honestly is me fiddling around with the florals and where I wanted to put them. So I didn't know if I wanted to put them at the top left and the bottom right. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. And looking at it now, I'm kind of thinking that looked really nice. But I decided to show off some more of the stitching and just kind of keep the florals toward the bottom. So there's florals on the right and the left of the photos. So a little bit more to the bottom on the left hand side. But and I will put a few more things up on the top right hand side as well. And then I overlapped one of the black and white ones on the top of the photo, just so that everything wasn't tucked under. I didn't want it to be so one-dimensional, so I'm popping a few things up. And later I realized, so in this month's kits, the main kit has the exclusive ephemera pack, and then the embellishment kit has an exclusive ephemera pack that's all flowers, and I wanted to use some of those, but I was sticking to the main kit, so I didn't. But there are a few tiny little flowers in the main kit ephemera pack, so I will end up finding those later and adding them in. And now I'm just trying to, again, fiddling with the flowers, trying to decide what looks balanced and right. I think I fiddled with it for far too long, but in the end, I'm happy with the results, so I guess it was worth it. You can see I kind of wrapped one of the flowers around the top right corner, so now the flowers are hugging the corners of the photos, opposite corners, and I think that works out well. So at this point, I have that yellow circle piece in the spaces between the ascenders of the L's on the word lovely, and it fits in there perfectly, but I'm going to end up moving it, and I like it a lot more. I'm playing around with these puffy stickers. I knew I wanted something under the word heart. There was a space between the word heart and the photos, so there was a little puffy sticker that says happy thoughts, and it worked perfectly. And then I thought to bring in some more yellow, I would use that puffy arrow and then maybe that little circular piece, but I'm undecided on them right now. So they're just kind of sitting there while I'm thinking about it. And then there is this pattern paper from Webster's Pages in the kit that has this cute little bird. And I actually have a few other papers from this kit, and I was so tempted to pull them out. I mean, not from this kit, from that collection that have more birds on them, because I thought the bird was so cute. I wanted to add some more, but I refrained and I just added this one, and I think he's the perfect little touch. So something that is interesting for me about this layout is that I combined kind of a cutesy floral style with a more sophisticated black and white line style, and then that kind of vintagey almost style of the bird. And I feel like in the end, it's a different layout for me, but I really like the way it came together. So I was very happy with that. This little rainbow that I'm fussy cutting also came from that cut apart sheet from Webster's Pages, and I just really like that it brings in those colors of the bird. It has kind of the pink and the yellow, and then also brings in a bit of orange, and so I really like the way that looks, and I'm going to actually add a piece of the stripe to the left hand side of my layout that's from the back side of that cut apart sheet, and I really love what this does for the coloring of the layout. I just think it's kind of a fun and different color scheme for me, and I was, again, I already said it, but I was really happy with the way it turned out. And it's totally cool to love your own layouts. You should love your layouts. So I'm playing around with where I want that rainbow, and I'm thinking like it should go above the word lovely, but I keep moving things around because I'm unsure. I'm trying to get a good balance of the yellowish orangey tones, so I need to balance that big yellow piece at the bottom left, and so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. So I'm just kind of thinking about it and having a hard time making up my mind. The bird does have some yellow on it, and I like the way it looks right there. And then I have the arrow right there as well. That will end up moving, I think. Yeah, it ends up moving, but I like where it ends up. So there's another arrow that had hearts on it, and I thought it would be cute to have it pointing to the word heart, but I decided against it. And then I bring back that little circular piece. It's a puffy sticker, and I kind of like it now that I have that stripe on the side. At first I wasn't sure about it, but now I like it. And I was thinking that there needs to be a little bit more black and white at the, like above those dark pink flowers on the left. And so I will come back to that. I put the rainbow in between the L's on the word lovely, and then I'm adding my little black and white pieces here. I'm going to fiddle with those a lot just because I couldn't decide if it looked right. I don't know. Something felt a little bit off to me, but I will find something that finally works well enough and makes me happy. And I'm just gluing those down now. So here I'm getting close to being done. I decided to add some hearts, and there was a bright pink, kind of a deep orange, and a yellowy orange, and those were perfect. So I'm just going to add those 3. I thought it was really important to add hearts to this layout because the word heart is in my title. And so I am adding those with some, I'm popping them up on some foam squares, and then I am going to glue down all of those puffy stickers. I glued them down, especially the ones that were on top of the stitching, just to make sure they didn't move. And here you can see I'm adding 3 tiny little white flowers that came in the main kit exclusive ephemera pack, and they add just a perfect little touch. And I'm still gluing down some of those puffy stickers. And now I am thinking about what I want to do for my journaling, where I'm going to put it, if I'm going to handwrite it or what. I decided to go to my typewriter and just type it up. I just used a piece of white paper that I had sitting next to me and typed up my journaling, just talking about how it was so sweet that my daughter did this for me. And the stems were so short on those flowers that she had to fill that little vase all the way to the top and with water. And I didn't, like, it was so funny, and I didn't have the heart to tell her that we have a little tiny bud vase that they would have fit in perfectly, but it was just so cute the way she did it. So I just I wanted to take a picture of it and remember that little thing. Those little things I think I'll look back on and just kind of be so glad that I wrote it down, you know? So I like having those little detailed snippets of life documented in my albums. So I'm gluing down the strips, which I've cut up. I will cut them up a little bit more, just so I wanted them to kind of go around that circle. And so I'm just kind of, I don't know, gluing things down. I'll snip some pieces in half so that I can move the words around a little bit, and it all ends up working out just fine. And I'm using my Nuvo, I can't remember, it's like extreme adhesive. It's not extreme. It's like, I can't remember, like extravagant. It's not extravagant, but it's a word like that. And I can't think of what the word is, but it's really good adhesive, and I really like using it. It glues everything down well. So now I am shaking up some gold Heidi Swap Color Shine. I added the date real quick first, and then I will sprinkle the Color Shine around. I do like the way it dries on top of photos, so I do let it get on my photos in the white spaces a little bit, and I really like the way that looks. And that is going to finish this up. So I have some close-up photos coming, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment in the video note, or just not in the video description, leave a comment below. In the video description, you'll find links to these awesome kits, and I hope that you'll check them out. I have so much fun playing with them each month, and I hope to see you again soon on the Hip Kit Club YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.